Hey guys, and welcome back to Sonic Unleashed. Night has fallen now, so get ready for a lot of punching things. I wish I could be running through things, but alas, we're going to be turning into a Werehog momentarily. And we didn't really cover this last time, but Chip's lost his memories, so I guess the World Tour is just basically an excuse to cure his amnesia.
Yeah, it's just one big road trip, and this is a convenient excuse.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. I'm feeling it! I'm feeling it!
This looks really painful. Like, when you see, how all these claws are grown out and stuff in a sudden, that must be really inconvenient at the very least.
There's a flash of light. There could be literally anything happening there. Hell, he could morph like a Power Ranger for all you know.
Also, to be fair, that looked a lot less painful than when he first got transformed into the Werehog. That looked painful.
Yeah,
this was just sort of a, there we go.
Yeah, just a mild inconvenience more than anything.
I would imagine after the first few nights, you just sort of get used to it. I guess, all of my clothes are going to get ripped again. Somehow they'll be back to normal in the morning. Yeah, that happens.
Don't ask why his shoes grow cleats. I guess it's just to add to the Werehog's visual style, I suppose. But Sonic was not the only one affected by the coming of Dark Gaia, the being that was buried at the centre of the Earth that Eggman unleashed with the power of the Chaos Emeralds. No, all the townspeople of the world are, understandably, depressed and or haunted by purple stink ghosts.
The timing of you bringing that up, I was just waiting for you to start talking about how the ice cream guy's going to start growing claws like Sonic did, and I just thought that'd be fucking great.
Oh, awoo! Enjoyed my ice cream! And yes, he has Mr. Fantastic stretchy arms. I don't know why, but it does lend itself to some pretty fun platforming, regardless of what anyone says.
Yeah, the platforming is the best part of the Werehog. Just a shame about,
Yeah, it should have been the only part of the Werehog in my opinion, but I'll leave my shit talking of the gameplay mechanics until we actually get into the action stages themselves.
I won't be spending too much time dwelling on all the town people and that around the world, because, there's a lot of them and they all talk about stuff, but just catching the initial reactions to there's this giant monster guy. Some of them jump back like the guy a minute ago. These guys don't seem to care.
Well, they're old and feeble, why should they? Oh, it's over here now. What a switch up.
Just radically different. But like with the first one, we are going to get a few more patronising tutorials as the Werehog this time in the Wii version.
Oh, goody.
But this is our general goal. We've got to go find Tails.
Oh no, I'm trapped! I'm trapped in a corner! Whatever will I do, I'll just fly away.
Oh yeah, I can do that, I forgot.
Fuck Tails.
I fucking love that.
Now, would I be correct in saying that cutscene turns up at different times depending on whether you're playing the Wii version or the HD version? I seem to recall in one version it turns up at the start of the level, and in the other it turns up when you get to pretty much just around that area.
I think it's the same in both, to be honest with you. I think your memory's playing tricks on you, mate.
It might have been a case that it plays, because this isn't a real Werehog level yet, this is just a tutorial one. It might be that it plays these, then shows the cutscene in the other one. But I just thought that, because it plays it after you go through that particular gate in the HD one, I thought that was just the best place to put it.
Fair enough.
That might very much be the case, I don't know.
At least this tutorial taught us, a few things in one hit, not just jump, goal ring.
Yeah. It also introduced a mechanic that does differ from the HD version of the game. In the HD version, and wow, this is really just a flip of those sayings we had all those years ago. In the HD version, you hold down, I think it's a trigger to dash and whatnot, Flame?
Yes.
In the HD one, you just hold down the right trigger. In this one, it's got this really fiddly system where you have to double tap the stick. And it really doesn't work as well as they think it does. And it's especially annoying trying to get out of that, because the way the attacks work is that you get a different attack depending on whether you're in motion or whether you're standing stationary, and the stationary attacks tend to be the more useful ones. So you have to manually pull yourself back, stop still for a second before you use the attack, otherwise you go flying forward.
Oh.
It's annoying. And I will say, just on the whole, the Werehog controls better in the HD one, but I think he gets better levels here.
Shit. Well, 1 point for either version, I suppose, and now we move on to basically the Werehog's bread and butter. The combat system, arguably the most divisive part of Unleashed as a whole, you know, more so than Sonic turning into a werewolf, or a Werehog, so to speak, because, I think a lot of people said, oh, you could have just put Knuckles in here and it would have been A-okay, you know, peachy keen. I kind of disagree. No. I think you're just putting like a palette swap over it and not fixing the original problem that maybe this shouldn't be in a Sonic game. I'm not going to say it shouldn't be in a Sonic game, because, you know, it's dabbled in many different gameplay styles over the years with multiple characters and so on, and the spin-offs have done like racing and, you know, board games and everything under the sun, really. But, if I'm gonna be honest, until you start to learn more moves through the level up system, fighting's kind of wonky and bland in Unleashed.
Well, you see, that's because Unleashed follows the lesser hack and slash model of give you a few basic moves to begin with and then you gradually build up your arsenal, which is fine, but it, as you said, it's not quite that fun because you kind of feel hampered in your abilities. In other hack and slash games, the better ones, you've got a much broader span of moves to begin with, and so it just feels like everything gets bigger and bigger and bigger rather than starting ridiculously small and then feels like it pads out to playing decently and then gets bigger.
I think the bigger problem there is that a lot of more combat-based games tend to juggle between having like quicker attacks that don't do as much damage but execute more quickly, or slower attacks which do more damage but, you know, it takes longer to hit them. Whereas here, even the faster quote-unquote attacks like still take a while to hit, and it means that
sure.
the combat just drags. And that, if we link that back to the idea of whether this belongs in Sonic or not, I think the idea of the Werehog is fine, and having this, like, the sort of, you know, climbing around, swinging on things, like climbing across shit and whatnot, that works. That feels like just a different style, but the combat just grinds it all to a halt.
I think if they were going to include combat, they should not have gone with health bars for the enemies. I don't care if he's slower, he should still be able to hit with a certain amount of, you know, force and momentum. Just have like one-hit KOs except for the bigger guys, and it just would have made for a more snappy experience. Or just remove it entirely and go for some like Prince of Persia style platforming. Maybe throw in like a spin dash roll, you know, to combo into, you know, more acrobatics and whatnot. Man, I'm making myself kind of sad now, because that's kind of what I was expecting before the game released.
Yeah, I feel if I just go back to that whole Knuckles thing that you brought up, obviously putting Knuckles into this whole situation would not have fixed all the problems. What I do think it would have done, however, is just, it would have made people maybe a little bit more open to the idea of what was going on, because a lot of people saw Werehog, thought that's ridiculous, this looks ridiculous, and kind of put the barriers down immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And so kind of judge it on that. Obviously there are proper issues with the Werehog stages, but I think the basic look at it is not really where that issue lies, and I suspect if they had gone with Knuckles, then that initial barrier would perhaps not have been there quite as badly anyway.
I disagree there. I think that would have worked against it, because Knuckles has an established gameplay style, and this is nothing like that particular established gameplay style. Like, we don't have any sort of gliding, we don't have fast moving punches, and that's kind of Knuckles' thing, so I think this would have really turned people off if this was Knuckles doing this.
Also, you could probably break these stages just due to the fact he can climb on walls and whatnot.
That too, yeah.
That's very true.
Like, there would still be these arbitrary, you can't go past this semi-transparent purple gate until you found the 3 things thing,
Oh,
which,
man.
actually, thinking back to it, that kind of is Knuckles, but still.
Man, you're showing off some impressive combos here, mate. Is that just like the Werehammer and such?
That is where I've got all this shit unlocked, yeah.
Is that it? Is that the stage?
Like we've been saying, this is broken up into little chunks, which... And this is something I would like to point out. This is how the ranking system works. This was a much faster run than you typically see because I have all the shit unlocked, but because this game scores you on enemy damage, I actually got a worse rank than I probably would have got otherwise.
How the fuck does that work?
Because I could just run past everything because I was going quickly. I wasn't stopping to smell the roses and shit.
Huh.
And I love it the way these basic level enemies where I can just smack them with one punch and it's just bonk out the way, bonk out the way.
That's how it should have been to begin with, like I said. Okay, a few things to bring up about the nighttime stages. Number 1, the music. Nighttime music is generally pretty goddamn awesome in Unleashed. The OST as a whole is fantastic, one of my favourites in Sonic. But there's the problem of the fight theme, which on its own is okay. I don't think it's very good, but it's, tolerable. But the fact remains that every time enemies appear, it segues from the beautiful, almost calming nighttime themes into da 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 da, and it just doesn't flow very well.
Man, I would love it if it was as out of tune if you just sung it like that. That'd be fucking hysterical.
Oh man, they should. They've done the Unleashed project for generations and whatnot. They should port the nighttime stages and have an NTOM64 voice mod for the music.
Well, no, really, what they should do is they should do an E-rank version of all the songs. Because obviously, in Unleashed, if you get an E-rank, I don't know whether it is the case in the Wii version as well, I would assume so. And I don't know whether it's just the day stages or whether it is both day and night. But either way, when you get an E-rank, it does a really, really out-of-tune, everything's awful orchestral version of the end of level theme, and it is so gloriously awful.
Yeah, it's just the game taking the piss out of itself, really. It's cool to see, because 06, it had a lot of problems, but one of the biggest is that it just took itself too seriously. And granted, the plot of Unleashed takes itself seriously to an extent, but there's still a lot of comedy in there.
Well, I would say that what Unleashed does is it tells its story sincerely.
Yeah.
It understands that it is a story about a cartoon hedgehog going on a road trip around a broken up world and how ridiculous that is, but then it plays it just straight enough that there is a sense of emotion and character development and all that sort of stuff, which you wouldn't really associate with Sonic. And it's why, time and time again, I will always defend Sonic Unleashed story and say that it's probably, well, in my mind, it is the best Sonic narrative that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I know there are people who will disagree with me on that, but I feel very strongly on that point.
Fair enough, mate, fair enough. Man, I gotta give props to, the Wii version's designers. This is a lot more, it has a lot more unique, plot points. Not plot points, what the fuck am I talking about here? Do you know what I'm trying to say, Richie? In terms of visual stuff?
Like set pieces?
Set pieces, there you go. Sorry, my brain shut down for a moment there. Just like the Skype call, to be honest. And, there's a lot of unique stuff here that just isn't found in the HD version.
That's why I say the Wii version has better Werehog levels, because the HD ones, it does have these different sort of pieces scattered about, but you don't really get to appreciate them as much because you're just sort of going around and fighting enemies and it all sort of meshes together. Whereas here, you all of these different segments of the Werehog levels are a different particular part of this area. And granted, this isn't the best example of it. We'll get to much better examples of it in later Werehog stages. But it just makes it feel like different levels rather than just a 20-minute drag.
Yeah, just different parts of, I almost said Mykonos, different parts of Apatos, during the night and whatnot. It also feels a lot more video gamey than the standard, country adaptation kind of levels in the HD version, which, there's two different flavours for sale here. And, while I may rank the HD version way over the Wii one, there's still something to find here.
It feels like they just embrace the fact that they obviously have a less powerful system to work with and just sort of made the best they could with it. And I can appreciate that.
So, anything to talk about? Because these night stages drag on a fair bit.
Yes, they do. I could have called this, but yeah, I'm losing track of this. This is the third one. Like the earlier stages, there's usually only 3 or 4 of them. Like when you get near the end, some of them do have 5 fucking Werehog stages.
Well, I know for a fact that the last one definitely has at least 5, and that is just like, stop, please.
Though, admittedly, they are much shorter than they could have been, so
damn well better.
Yeah. No, they're all like half hour each. We'll be fine.
Yeah, because I don't want to, shit on the Werehog because everyone's already had their chance at it. But if I want to play as Sonic, I want to play as Sonic. Going fast, doing the spin ball dash and so on and so forth. These bees are fucking annoying.
These are the worst fucking enemies in the game because they're just levitated a little bit above Sonic's natural reach. The upward attack is quite inaccurate given they're moving, and the only real reliable way to attack them is throw a box at them, which there are only so many boxes around.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of sections here you'll probably see later on, like in particular, where I'm just surrounded by the fuckers and fuck off.
Yeah. I gotta say, I always liked this area of Apato's Night, just all these like ruins and whatnot. That's something you don't see in the HD version, as we'll see shortly. It's mostly a city area in the HD version.
I love that background. Like, although it is very obviously a still image that they're just sort of rotating us around, it's just such a pretty purple colour that really sets off the entire level.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, I am always down with a good, night skybox, especially when they're very pretty, because you just look at it and you just go, actually, wow, that is lovely.
That could be a good, desktop background or something, that purple.
What are those things you're collecting in the Free of Free Flame? Is that keys to unlock the gate?
Yeah, these are little tokens that you have to get through. These are only in the Wii version to my recollection, other than maybe some missions. But it is just a thing to make sure you actually look around the level rather than just bolt ahead.
I'm actually kind of enjoying going through the Wii versions of this level. I don't know, it's just got a lot of unique set pieces. There you go, I got it right the second time.
Hey, Tom remembered the words.
Hey! I've forgotten all about global illumination now. And what was it? It's like blast processing or something?
Yeah, well, we ain't got too much blast processing here. We just got stand in the centre and wait for them to walk towards you so they can have their turn to be punched.
Ah, okay. Whoa, that's a big frigger.
Also, I like how he just decided he wasn't going to get close and didn't really attack you at all.
Its AI was just mulling the situation over, really.
Or maybe he was just being smart. I'm not sure what happened with me character model there.
Yeah, he got spazzed out a little bit.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Kind of a muted end to the level there, but it's got its own appeal, I suppose. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, I swear.
It's the fucking Werehog. Here we go.
Oh,
this is the other side of the Werehog.
More my speed, more my speed.
This one, I will be running through this level very quickly because this is a fairly short Werehog level even on a raw file. So the fact that I am, maxed out, I'm just showing off the best that he has to offer. We will really appreciate having a maxed out character in later ones.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
For sure,
Some of them,
for sure.
even with proper full health, full attack, all that, some of them can still take upwards of 15 minutes.
Well, I guess I can explain, some of the systems the HD version brings. They might be in the Wii version, but just to reiterate, that's the shield gauge, I believe, at the top, those blue egg things, right, Flame?
Yeah, those, if you push one of the bumper buttons, then you can just get a temporary block. I very rarely use it. I'm more the sort of running and punch the shit out of everyone kind of player. Which I'm with every game like this, to be fair.
Underneath that you have the unleash meter, or gauge if you prefer. By defeating enemies, they will drop like these little shadow ball things. You can also find them scattered about the levels. You can just pick them up as if they were collectibles, and that will allow you to go beast mode, in which you are not invincible, but you are much more like durable and powerful. So you use that in a pinch, and you'll get through enemies as if they were butter, and you were the metaphorical hot knife. And underneath that, you've got the life bar. If I need to explain that, you haven't really been playing enough video games.
Wait, what does that do?
But all throughout the nighttime levels, in the day levels as well, but since the night ones encourage exploration to find everything, you'll probably appreciate it more here. There's like tons of collectibles, like videotapes, which let you rewatch the cutscenes should you wish to. You can find the game's soundtrack through like old vinyl records and the like. I doubt kids even know what they are nowadays, but we're going for a bit of the super retro here. And I believe you can also find like books that show you like concept art and illustrations and so on. Medals. Alright, let's talk about the medals while we're here.
It's time.
Yeah, because they mostly apply to night-time levels, because in the night levels you'll find day medals, mostly, I believe, and in the day levels you'll mostly find night medals, although day and night appear in both. And it's a lot easier to find medals in the Wii version of the game, because just doing levels grants you them. Here, in the HD counterpart, you have to manually track them down and find them. That's fine to people like me, sick freaks who need to collect everything to even be able to get up in the morning. But, a lot of people take issue with that, and they prefer the more arcade style of going from one level to the next with nary a hindrance in sight. But, it doesn't really get obnoxious to me until the final level, where no matter how well you have been collecting, you will probably have to slow down a little bit. Because trust me, I've gone through this game multiple times, and I always hit a roadblock.
You say that, and like when I recorded Unleashed, actually playing through it, because if you've got that goal in mind, then whenever you're playing a night stage, you always try and make sure that you have as many medals as possible, because the way that they set it up is that if you complete every single night stage and get pretty much the majority of the sun medals, you will have enough by the time you get to that awful stage to unlock.
I disagree completely. Like, I did that exact thing, and I still was off by about like 15 or 10 or so.
Yeah, I didn't find that, but then I think it depends how many you do find, and sometimes, it probably is, you need to get the majority, well, pretty much almost all as you play through. Also, as long as you go around all the hub worlds, do all of that sort of thing, you will generally find enough. So I never felt that there was much of a slowdown, but then I know that obviously for most other people, yes, there is a slowdown there, and it is horrendous.
I don't like the idea of being forced to do like this exploration stuff. I can appreciate them having things like the unlockable soundtrack, the video clips. That's fine, they're extras. I just think that I just want to play through the game. I don't want to be going backwards and forwards looking for things. That's not inherently Sonic. And like, I know that's going back to the what is appropriate for a Sonic game, what isn't, but it really kills the pace. And anyway, fuck this guy.
Oh yeah!
Right.
Wow! What hit? Jesus!
He fucking deserved that. How long he took on the first run?
Oh my god! B rank? Really? That deserved an S just for that finisher, mate.
Well, there you go, though. That's the thing of, like, because I was just running to the end, I wasn't worrying about killing everyone. I didn't get the enemy score.
Hey, Tails.
Oh my god, I forgot we're still using the 4Kids voice actors at this point in time.
Although, probably at their best outside of maybe Black Knight.
Yeah,
to
for
be
sure,
fair.
yeah.
Sonic, is that really you?
There was that sort of period of awkwardness when they were 4Kids, particularly around Sonic X time, but they are like actors who grew into their roles, and I think they got better directors over time as well, which really would have helped.
Oh, definitely.
Chocolate is poisonous to dogs and foxes, Chip. Are you deliberately trying to do Tails in?
Well, yes, because Chip obviously sees him as a threat, because he is fellow animal sidekick. Therefore, that is Chip's role for this game. Therefore, Tails needs to just sod off.
Yeah, for
Tails
sure.
is a threat to the bromance, come on.
Oh, Chip, you're so in the background and easily ignored.
I love stupid shit like this, though. This is enough to get a stupid little giggle out of me, which for this kind of tone, like that just works.
And there's a number of people who get annoyed by those kind of things when you can so easily overlook them. I know it's rich for me to say, oh, don't get annoyed at stupid shit when I literally do this for a living, you know. But you can pick and choose what to be annoyed at, you know, with a little bit of discipline. So just choose not to be annoyed. And now to end on a hypocritical note, thank you for watching in this installment of the Sonic Unleashed Complete World Adventure Mark II Championship Hyper Edition, and we'll see you next time when we travel to a new land. Bye for now.